Alright, Chapter 10, General Preventive Maintenance, Repair, and Upgrade. Section 1, Introduction. General, the call for the control for the relief of the bridge is escalating with every day with the imperative that we make for the most of our existing bridge, with the formula doing with it properly maintain each of the bridge with the extent of the service level, immediately repairing with the structural damage, deterioration for the bridge to prevent increased damage for the deterioration, upgrading load, capacity of the structure, meet with the future with the increased traffic requirements of the specified category bridge, the maintenance, repair, and upgrade with discussed in the paragraphs. 10.2. The preventive maintenance made for the recurring of the day-to-day with the periodic schedule of the work required to preserve the restore the bridge in such for the condition that it can be effectively utilized with the design purpose include with the undertaking to prevent the damage of the deterioration of the bridge otherwise would be most costly to restore. Concept of the preventive maintenance for involved with the repair with the small with the potential problem with the timely manner with the show that they will not develop the expansion for the bridge replacement. The preventive maintenance activity can be divided into two groups. These are performed in specified intervals, thus are formed as the specified interval maintenance of the group include with the schematics everything with the bridge with the scale blade and internal variables. The type of the work of the activity identified with the internal maintenance can be incorporated into the maintenance schedule of the bridge. Examples of one cleaning drain facility, cleaning, resealing, expansion, joint cleaning, expansion, bearing, assembly, as needed, made with the activity of the perform need for the foreseeing the remedial work of the prevent further deterioration of the development of the defective need of the type of the maintenance of the related with the environment and identify the direction. For example, of it includes spilling of the concrete deck, expanding of the seal. Remember the stone and ice removal. 10.3. The relief of the bridge. Remember the component of the base and the material of the existing. Remember the equipment available, the training level, the air crew, with the more detailed consideration replacement each of the type of the bridge. Remember provided in section 3 of the chapter 11 through 13. 10.4. Bridge repairs. Actually, extension from the go of the maintenance program involved with the maintaining of the bridge, current with the structural load classification, selection for the correct repair technique of the bridge for the any type of the material that depends on the knowing of the deficiency not the systems. If the cause of the deficiency is understood, that may more likely for the correct repair method will be selected. The repair will be successful. The general perceive the file of the design of the executing repair involved evaluation determinative of the causing of the deficiency. The method of the material of the plans used for the execution of the repair. Evaluation. The first step of evaluating the current condition of the structural items include the evaluation or review of the design construction documentation, review of the structural and instructional instrumental data, review of the blast dredge, inspection, visual examination. On obstructive test, laboratory test relate the obstruction cause of the evaluation information must be related to the mechanism cause of the damage. Since the many of the deficiencies are caused by more than one mechanism, the basic understanding of the cause of the deteriorations needed to determine the actual damage of the causing mechanism. Select the method, the material of the underlying cause of the structural damage of the determination, and determine select the appropriate repair materials and methods should be based on these considerations. Determine the pre-repair adjustment with the modification required with immediate reading of the cause of the change with the water drainage pattern correcting differential foundation substance eliminating with the and cavitation damage for determine the constraint with the structure for the action for the structure operating with the schedule for the structure of the weather determine the permanent temporary repair the advantage of the disadvantage determine the available to repair with materials method technical feasible unit using them determine the most economical viable the technical feasible method material select with the combination for the satisfactory job or so prepare design memorandum plan with the specification. The steps should be made for the existing guides and specification and the incorporating the experience of the game with a simple project with allowing them as much flexible with regard to the materials as possible actually with the repairs because the repair depends on the degree of which the repair is actually in conformance with plans with specifications 10.5 the grade of bridge upgrade with the upgrading with the existing bridge for the usually required that they carry heavier live loads and they know the which where they were designed. The upgrading the strength that may also require that to cover the inadequate design and add to the result of local deterioration. The discussion of the upgrade of the bridge replace that should be taken into account with the age of the structure of the material with which the various members are made with fatigue with the effect of the live load compared to the estimated cost added service life of the upgrade of the bridge within possible future with increase of the live loading. Alright, upgraded levels. Upgrading bridge with the structure that can be carried out in 3 levels of strength with reducing individual component of the bridge with the provide the moderate increase of the bridge loading carrying capacity the redesign with the structure the adding with the component within the string of the tires load bearings decks etc. Redesign of the structure by combination of the strength of the existing component within the added component with the increased load capacity. Section 2, Common Maintenance Tab. There's 10.6, General. The numerous tabs different type of the bridge with the material for the type of the bridge constructed. However, some of the maintenance tasks of the common all of the bridges provide with the individual design with construction material for the task incorporated with the standard mechanism means operating procedures generally involve the keeping of the bridge clean with the conducting of work minor bridge for the prevent the 10 7 the cleaning with the deck drain with the drain the scoopers should be open with clear control all the deck drains properly with the water that does not pound with the pounding of the water deck with the increase of the deck with the load dead load with the bridge presents the hazard that the forming hydroplaning with the proper drain that also prevents water from the leaking with the deck joint with causing deterioration of other superstructure the components. 10.8 Ice and snow removal. The primary removal of the snow of the ice provided with the safety bridge for the motorist bridge or generally the first portion of the road with the network of ice over the required immediate attention to the freezing weather. The primary means of combat accumulation of snow and ice of the plowing the snow of the traffic lane with the lanes of the bridge spreading the brief the crushed rock with the sand and the cinder of the engine remove the wheel track with the chemical with the city table is blown 10-1 lower the freezer and point with the water over the deck with the wind calcium, calcium chloride, and sodium chloride used as part of the process of the imperative of the main of the schedule include the cleaning of the bridge with the spring. The remove of the last effect of the salt with any of the brace with the other the structure should be removed as soon as possible in the snow period over the reduce the wall wear of the deck. 10.9. Bank restoration. Bank restoration involved in the area of the round with abutments for the use of the water line and erosion. The biggest problem with the maintenance of the program to include the filling of the washout and sealing of the riprap to help to prevent the erosion. Find more of the detailed description of the use of the fill of the riprap. Refer to paragraph 10.18d. 10.10. Traffic control. It's important for the traffic control item clearing for the load classification speed sign with the center lane that may be made the regular basis of the traffic across the bridge, and especially importance to show the chemical application rates. And then we'll go and do the move of the bridge for the navigation over the traffic control of the protective feed versus the mountain regularly with the safety remove the structural issue that however the constitute with the important component providing a complete maintenance program. 10.11. The bearing and roller rockers, pins, and rollers are kept free with the debris with the corrosion low. We keep the necessary with the maintain with the good working order. Big and then one time with the bearing, fix expansion. They should permit the superstructure to undergo the necessary movements without developing harmful stress of the frozen lock bearing that becomes incapable of moving all out of the stress that generated to move with excessive may even cause the major failure with some affected member. Alright, 10.12. Debris and removal. The superstructure of the debris left over the superstructure to do with the traffic highway will remove the safety reason prevent the deterioration of air with debris with will trap the moisture of the superstructure. Your substructure accepts the susceptible debris from the floating out of the form of the drift air against the component with the cover the premature with the deterioration of these components playing excess of the lateral loads of the whole structure. The technique able to remove the drift and clear small debris with a pole and hook. Pull a large piece of the debris, clear with a crane. Clear the large and small piece of the debris with a power boat. Plastic a large jam to break them up. 10.13. Bridge joint system. Joints generally joints that are designed to provide the rotation translation, the transverse movements of the superstructure that underlie load and thermal expansion of the system should also prevent the water leakage of the components below the bridge of the deck of the two common joints of the system open and closed. Open joints provide the longitudinal movement of the superstructure. The joint of the construction that water should permit the traffic to cross smoothly. Finger joint with the interlocking seal fingers attached with the seal plate along longitudinal but the restrict transverse deck movement. The clog joint, the drain trough, the frequently flush of the clean joint with the drainage in the system to remove the debris accumulation in the system that will also prevent the corrosion of the concrete deterioration. Loose joint, remove the loose and faulty bolt of the rivet to reposition the expansion joint and the re-bolt the main for the counter shape of the bolts and rivet to avoid future problem. Broken finger joint with weld replacement of fingers on the joint. Finger clove with expansion finger with the removal of the system reposition reinstall of the average joint. Consider the seal of the angle with the return of the edge of the left open the fill with the mastic of the material preventing intrusion of the debris with the joint with the clog and clean up the joint repair with any of the broken angles. Apply with the liquid polyurethane perform with the compression joint with the sealant with the waterproof to prevent the debris with the intrusion. Sliding plate horizontally position steel plate with the anchor to the deck of the lab with the slide across the angle to anchor to the opposite face of the opening. Close expansion gap. Remove the end of the dirt asphalt with the gap. Then ensure the sliding plate with the interact properly with the angle of the seat. The joint clove with the trim. The steel plate with the closed joint with watertight augments with any various material with the allow the longitudinal move of the superstructure. Lasso metric with the seal of the waterproof joint system which you with the steel plate with the angle of the mold into the neoprene cover to provide the anchorage low transfer. Figure 10.1. Faulty section with the removal of the replay with the inadequate seal with the ply with the new seal with the removal of the reinstall with the proper sealing and techniques. Loosen broken bolt, remove the broken bolt with the replay with the J-bolt compression, the seal with the solid neoprene cross section design elastic meter provide the retention of the original shape leakages the most. Common failure associated with the joint with the seal that requires the replacement of the deficient compression joint sealant in figure 10.1. The excavation removal of the soil foundation beneath the substructure they undermine with the load carrying the capacity of the bridge also cover the excessive settlement of the proper prevention maintenance of the not practice of the foundation may be protected against score and initial design of the stress destruction has been completely designed. Look at the benefit of the pier with the parallel to the direction of the water flow. You with the long piles driven into the depth of wood to provide sufficient bearing with account with the scoring. Drive the row with a closely spaced fender pile with the vertically stream flow with the upstream and the end of the substructure. They may protect with the downstream of the sense eddy to increase the velocity of the main crew and produce the erosion of the downstream with the greatest effectiveness for the narrow pilers, large span structures. After construction of the blank and place of the sandbags around the base band with the pier with the abutments, particularly with the upstream end of the bank, place the riprap, consider the stone weighing with at least 50 pounds with the bags filled with the stone with the cement. Divert draining line with the screwing the due with the local ground drainage from the deck itself. Show the figure 10.1 show the example of closed joints and the molded neoprene butthole, reinforcement, fabric seal plate, and compression with the joint seal modified corner clips. Section 3, Common Repair Task, 1015, General. The Justice mainly the task of the travel, the repair task apply with almost all of the bridge, the apply with the material, the UV, the construct, the purpose of the building, bridge maintenance, to bring the bridge back up the original design load after the damage and deterioration of the structure, the repair of the middle, the strength, and replace the adding and support the existing component of the structure, give the common repair. The task that have been involved with the repair of the foundation substructure over the bridge. Alright, 1016, abutment stability. In addition to removing the end of the support of the bridge, serve the deck of the abutment and act to retain the well is the subject of the horizontal pressure. The pressure coupled with the dynamic load and vertical traffic, it has a tendency to push out of the abutment. The abutment is unstable, but maybe the shore with the findings extend to the using guideline shore and anchoring dead man and tie back system. The procedure within this process also followed with examining of the dead man. Grab pull with the anchor with approximately 3 feet with either side of the approach of the bridge. The anchor should be between 60 to 100 feet with the faith of the existing abutment. The drilling and hold wing wall with the both of the side of the abutment. The position outside with the line with the abutment cap. Both restraining the rod with the cable of the dead man through the hole of the wall. The place of the beam extended over the steel way for the outside of the cap of the beam must be extended the distance least greater. Then the position of the drill hole of the wing walls on the both sides of the abutment cap. The tank with the retaining rod with the cable over the beam to the plate of the tension of the rod cables. So the technique can be used smaller abutments help draw the abutment back into the original position, hold in place. Tense over the drifting and floating eyes. Drifting and floating eyes is the place of the pier of the frame bent with the bridge, but they can also cover the structure of the damage crossing section of the piles. Common with the system of the impact with the debris with the substructure for the common repair with the minimum of the problem is to install the dolphins and or fender system upstream of the pier with absorb the energy of the physical contact with the drift and to help to break it up. Pile clusters and dolphin, the type of the dolphin, the with the cluster pile with the top of the pole with together the fixed in position figure 10-3 with the dolphin can be constructed from timber. The top of the lash together with the wire rope, the timber pile can be protected with the impact with the damage, impact the damage of the badge banding of the pile of the sheet metal, the steel tube with the dolphin system connected with the duration of the fender arrangement. Or the case in sheet pile cylinders, large diameter filled with the sand with the concrete. With the top with the concrete slab, the fender would also be attached with the outside of the sheet, and indeed the fenders are designed to divert the flow, drift the ice around the pier with these fenders, generally wedged from the upstream of the side of the pier with to divert the flow. Your timber steel band with the series of the pile with the timber wheel with the brace attached to the top of the portion of the bed system. Steel piles may be tied together with the concrete slab, steel concrete frame with the steel concrete frame with sometimes the anti-leverage with the pier with the paste of the timber with the rubber concussion, reduce collision impact with the surfacing of the crack of the debris. Timber grids are consisting of a post whale with an attached directly to the pier figure 319. Of the existing band, the wafer band, the restraining rod, the existing abutment, the cone with the dead man, the battered steel piles, other types may be used. The face may be poured against the firm soil without form of the side of the air with the faith the important with the restraint provided with the dead man. Alright, this shows your dolphin lashed together in the top view and then the flood. 1018 score. The score undermined with the existing foundation of the methods of the must be undertook with the reestablished foundation score with the effectively reduce the bearing with the pile with the undermined with the pier footing with the abutment with the cut in the back piles with the score reduce the effect with the bearing pile with the higher pier with the additional pile with the dead with the base of the pier with the bank with the loft with the bearing with the repeat wrap and with the add with the running feature scoring with figure 12. Concrete footing with the B at the base of the pier to make up the loss of the bearing of the file with the figure 10-4 with the place with the trimmy encasement with the brown with the bottom of the pier with the inject with the concrete the motor with the encasement with the concrete will display with the water and within the encasement with the foam and the form of the work encasement can be removed with the concrete and is curved with the nails or spikes that can be driven into the timber pile with a shear stud with a bolted placed on the steel pile with a rebar plate for the drill holes or surface of the chip of the concrete pile to provide a better bond between the pile and footing. Or your pier footings when the footings are undermined with the most common repair method is filled with the void but the foundation area with the area with the concrete grout with the crushed stone with the gray place with the grout and sometime with the form work. You may be with the found with the grout with the concrete grout with the tremolo encasement with the steel wood with the concrete with the plate with the round with the existing the footing is reestablished with the foundation form. Allow for the concrete grout to be pumped under the eroded footing of the replacement of the water encasement through the vents figure 10-4. Confinements of the walls of the stone bags filled with rip wrap with the plate along with the face of the footing extending through the melted blade with the river bottom of the grouting injection with the cavity below with the footing of the wall with the display for the voids of the water in the wall with the grout penetrating the voids in the wall with the seal with the confinement of the wall cavity filled with the grout and the foundation reestablished figure 10-5. Flexible fabric closed back with the canvas nylon with the group injection position with the under the footing of the grout with the jump pumped into the bag expand with the fill with the cavity junction port with the close of the fabric combined with the grout into the can curve with the figure 10-5. Your backfill, dry footing. In the case of the footing not underwater, they may have the eroded with the ship that's running off with the letting of the good structural fill with the material with the compact erosion cavity filled with the void streamed by the eroded below the base of the footing compact filled with the extent of the slope of the 2-to-1 from the curve with the stream bed. The base of the footing of the riprap will be placed around the footing to prevent further Wet footing. The crushed stone is used in the fill material figure 10.6. Alright, your abutment. Score around the base of the abutments must be repaired with a similar fashion from the bare footing of the figure 10.7. The over the button to prevent the settlement during the repair of the removal of any loose material with the scored areas set bolt in the button the face with along with the length of the button. The bolt should be extended 3 to the button the face of the media. Shape of the 2 feet apart. The bolts and so the step of the 3 connects the suspension field with the button. The plate for the concrete button behind the shield the field of the erosion cavity. Then space the between the shield and the button. The face of the plate for the rip wrap on a 2-to-1 slope to prevent future scoring. Bank slope. The erosion of around the concrete slope protector can be repaired by the rip wrap tap till and may require extending of the particular rip wrap. Figure 10.8 fill the score hole with the rip wrap with extend of the rip wrap with above the face of the concrete protector. The future scoring with the slope of the rip wrap level down with the edge of the protection of the face of the concrete protector. Protector extension with the remove the loose material with the score hole with the backfill with the sand gravel to form the ground mold with the backfill with the extend of the slope. Protect the plate with the concrete with the ground mold with the following step of the undermine with the protective that will cover the hole with the particular above the corrosion cavity backfill with the ground through the hole, repair the holes. Figure 10.19 settlement. Foundation settlement usually is caused by structural failure of the foundation material of the score. Figure 10.4 shows the forming of the footing of the tramic encasement, water level of the tramic concrete encasement, heavy stone and riprap control the future undermining and half-inch forming struts and welded wire reinforcement 12-gauge metal forming left in place. 10.5 alternate method of finding under floor. Top of the subfooting should be below the existing tremolo with the concrete subfooting repair concrete riprap in bags. Group injection pipe, the flexible nylon steel dowels tube to fill the motor inside view. The flexible nylon tube filled with the motor flow over the grout injection pipe with the stream bed. Figure 10.6 uses of the crushed structural fill with the repair scores damage. The original ground line score line, the 1 3/4 side of the crushed stone riprap approximately level with the original stream bed, pier stem or column normal water level. Note the issue of the size crushed stone may be prohibited. The stream currents are strong. 7.7 show the repair with the score around the concrete abutments. Show the extension shield of the saw at 2-foot spacing concrete subfooting repair score line original button extended the firm new material original button storm riprap score line piling concrete subfoot repairing 10.8 show the bank repair using riprap original concrete slope protection stone riprap scoring line. Figure 10.9 show the concrete banking protector extension typical hole original slope extend slope remaining void fill through holes rare fill with the score line rock and solid foundation material. Alright, your minor settlement. This can be corrected with the layer jacking with the strike for the inserting the steel shim between the string of the cap between the bearing with the pedal plate for the pedestal hardwood shim with the underwood members. Major settlement appears tilted with a cell with the point with the no longer safety carry with the design low with piles correctly. You for the settlement with the joint adding pile with the footing of the preferred is related paragraph of the following chapter with the specific method. Jack is properly positioned in large for plate for the existing cap level of the deck remove the jacks. Pier footings. Correctly covered with the settlement the jack with the deck with the proper position with the level of the bearing surface with the super stroke with the bent within the large for plate with the existing cap through the wall for the enlargement stem of the pier with the plate for the form around with the stem of the plate for the concrete. The concrete framework should extend the top of the pier with the provided level of bearing of the surface of the figure 10.10 with the cure with the level of the deck for the removing jacks. Figure 10.20. Some of the waterways flat gradients of the plane. Floodplains have a tendency to shift the location. Some of the channels shift to maybe the top of the eroded material. Bridge piers and eroded pier foundations attack approach and they can be controlled by the dikes and earth and rock. This show that the deck is required for the first stage enlargement and the top of the deck with the second stage of the ground original stem 12-inch minimum drill holes. The dowel pier system normal water level required footing all the 2-foot spacing stem repair. First stage section through pier stem showing the first stage and B section through the stem throwing the second stage of the repair. You know the repair should be undertaken only with the stability of the repair with attending the damage of the jam that is acceptable to the repair. Alright, section 4, common method to upgrade existing bridges. There are several methods available to upgrade the existing bridge. Some of the common methods involve the shortening effective spank lane with the adding some of the strength of the piers and dead low with the strength of the individual structure members. Section 1 will discuss a few of the techniques involved with these upgraded methods. Section 2.22. Alright, shorten span lengths. Bearing point with the shifting of the bearing point with the contribute the slide with the increase of the bridge. The strength with the can be used in conjunction with the upgrade with a method obtained with the total bridge upgrade with the bearing point with the shifting with the total of the span with the strength with the increase of the limited space of the bearing surface with the abutment of the pier cap with the shifting with accomplished by jack with the stringing of the bearing point with the more existing point with the out of the point with the place of the new bearing point on with the existing point with the using the wedge with the transfer the load of the new point. Intermediate pier with the greatest rate of the strength with the achieved the adding with the intermediate player between the existing pier with the abutment the original span act with the continuous beam with the the movement that must be checked over the intermediate pier. A-frame. The short span A-frame provides expedient substitute with the installment of the intermediate pier with the legs over the frame of the anchor of the existing pier footing. The footings are constructed for the purpose of the footings must be designed with reinforced carry with the lateral thrust transmit with the frame leg with the apex with the A-frame support with the cap of the head. The bearing strip with the big bridge stringers, the youth of the A-frame reduce the clearance below the bridge may require the additional horizontal reemplacement against the several seasonal floods. Figure 10 11 in Part A. Knee braces may be used to function in nearly the same manner with the A-frame side with the reaction of the span with the continuous span with must be the analog of the support of the bearing. Figure 10 11 in Part B. Alright, figure 1023. Adding string with additional string that may require the reshape of the existing string with the produce the increase of the capacity of the existing deck with the distributed loads carried with the string with the deck that does not replace with the special techniques must be the play for the new string with the increase of the load carrying the capacity of the superstructure with the imperative of the check with the superstructure with the same loading conditions. Alright, 1024. Adding strength pier for the adding power with drive additional power with an entire existing pier system. Adding increase the footing of one of the footing established columns of the adding between the new footing of the existing cap to provide with the greater column of the strength of the pier. Adding an enlarging column with the loading carrying the capacity of the pier of the bank system can increase the adding the new more columns and adding material with the existing columns cross section. Or 1025, reducing dead load. The live load capacity of the bridge can be increased with reducing implied dead load, thereby allowing existing capacity with the carrying the increased live load. The significant dead load reduction may be obtained by the removal of the existing concrete deck with replacing it with a lighter deck with a reinforcing concrete deck to 8 inches with a thick approximately weighs 100 pounds per square foot. This weight is compared with the weight of the lightweight of the deck of the 1020. 10.2. 1026. Post-tension bridge component of the post-tension can be sheared with the relative of the tension shear bending with the torsion overdraw of the ultimate shrink with the bridge structure of the reverse display from the chain with the simple span with the continuous span with the behavior of the various method of configuration post-tension of the table 10.3. Alright, 1027. The strength of the individual maneuver that indicates the bridge classification with the increase of the strength of the individual maneuver with the stroke of the all back with this method generally increase the depth of the load with the strength of the add of the material that we conserve effectively carrying with the add with the depth of the load. Live load only method the strength of the individual members are dependent on the material type of the end that discussed in the following chapter. Alright, this shows your A-frame, flooring, curb, post, cap, braces, footing, treadway, stringers, knee braces, expended methods of spanning length reduction. And then show the lightweight open grid control fill grid steel grid exodermal laminated timber laminated concrete orthopedic plate deck and their description in square feet. And then show the message eccentric tending that includes the compressional negative bending, the beam and stringer configuration. Concentric tending will relieve the tension members applying the axial compression. Show the truss configuration, polytrendal induced axial compression, non-uniform negative bending of the post-tension region, share opposition location, beam stringer configuration, and trussel configuration. Polygonal tendon with the compression with the strut, with the similar with the polygon, but it does not axial compression into the existing structure. This is beam structure configuration, truss configuration. King post combination of centric polygon tendon configuration with the moment of the axial force with the large two of the king post, the queen post, the use of the two posts, the show of the stringer and the truss configuration. External stir up the timber with the sections in concrete box beam, concrete box, the stringer and the trussel box beams, gross section, external. Chapter 11, Steel Bridge Maintenance and Repair and Upgrade.